Hello, this is Professor Schaefer. Welcome to week 7. Week 7 marks the middle point of the course content for this class. For the remainder of the semester, starting in week 7, you're going to be working on the Unit 2 project, which is a project that you're going to work on in pairs from now until week 16. The finals week is when the final report and different documents are due. So when we look at the week 7 module on our Canvas course page, week 7 has 3 items within it. And the first of which is the lesson, which explains more about this project, as well as a lesson on how to analyze and characterize an intended audience when we're in professional and technical communication. So you want to read section 2 here, which gives you some background and links to learn more about the project. Within this section here, you'll learn that we're working within what we call an imagined scenario. So the project idea is based around creating a tabletop game. And there's an actual game publisher that exists that's called University Games. And so you can click here and you're going to become familiar with this company because they're part of your audience. You have multiple audiences for different pieces that you're creating for the rest of the semester, but they're one of those audiences for a couple of documents. And so they're an actual company, and we're pretending, hypothetically, we're imagining that they've put out a request for game ideas. And the requirements around the ideas that they're looking for is that they want to hear new, unique game concepts and designs for games that can be played what we call tabletop, which means a game that can be played on a flat surface, such as a board game or a card game. Okay, so that's right off the bat one of the things that you need to stick to. The other thing is that they've come up with a selling plan that's a little bit different than many games that are manufactured currently. So they're trying to appeal to a general audience that's concerned with low waste manufacturing. Therefore, the game must be buildable by the consumer through what we call upcycling. And you can click on that link to explore more about that. So by the end of the semester, you are going to hypothetically submit, although you'll actually be submitting it to me, your instructor, for a grade, but the actual audience that you're, or the imagined audience that you're writing for is University Games. And you're going to submit at the end of the semester a completion report with research, as well as a photo of the game prototype, as well as an instruction manual for a game player. And the instruction manual will explain how to build the game, as well as how to play the game. For building the game, the consumer should be able to build the game at home utilizing materials that can be found around the average American household, or with a combination of material found in the home and bought at a dollar store. So after you've read through that, you can post questions for me in the questions about assignments discussion post. Then you have here a list of assignments coming up so that you can understand what steps you're going to be taking for the next rest of the semester. And then you really want to understand this concept of audience analysis. So we've talked briefly about audience analysis up till this point, but I want to go back to the assignment you had very early on, which was analyzing a document put out by the EPA, a government document about climate change. And many of you in that assignment explained that the audience for that document is any American, every person above the age of 10, all people concerned with the climate, concerned with the state of our planet. Now, that is not an intended audience. So each of you explained why you thought that, and you did a good job of analyzing the document to come to that conclusion. However, going forward, you need to think about intended audience as much specific than anyone, everyone, or all. So you won't use those words ever again this semester when you're talking about audience. So how do you understand, how do you determine who your audiences are? Well, that's why you need to read this lesson where you'll learn about different types of audiences, different characteristics, and ways that you can narrow down the audience groups that you're communicating to in different documents, as well as how that audience choice, that intended audience choice that you've determined, affects the communication piece that you're creating and the different steps that you need to take to make sure that your documents are customized to your intended audiences. And this is something that you're going to need to use throughout the rest of the semester. The second item on the course module for week 7 is a discussion post. For Wednesday, February 24th, and this week, the assignment is due on Wednesday because Thursday and Friday are well-being break days. So I can't assign homework due on that day. So I pushed it up a day, but it's not more work than any other week. So it's feasible to be able to do this by Wednesday night. You're going to post one time by Wednesday, February 24th at 11 p.m. And in that one post, you're going to include your answers to both 1 and 2. Okay. So when you type your answers to 1A, B, and C, those are based on the lesson on audience analysis, as well as the lesson on the imagined scenario for this group project. Then within that same post, you're going to answer 2A through D. And this is where you're going to start figuring out what kind of contributions you make as a group member and what kind of contributions you're seeking from a partner that you'll be working with. So this is the first time I'm doing this, but I'm allowing the students to pick their own group members. One of the important things to know here, though, is that your group is actually a pair. So it's only 2 of you that are going to be working together. So after you post this different information about how you work in groups and your working habits this semester, then throughout the week, you're going to read your peers' responses and respond back to them, asking them questions so that by next Thursday, you have figured out which peer is going to be your partner for this group project. So if you have questions about that, again, please post them in the discussion on questions about assignments. And then the last thing for this week is an ungraded course feedback survey. So what I'm asking you to do is explain some information about how this semester has gone so far and what can be done to support your learning for the remainder of the semester. So this is anonymous. I won't know who answered each survey questionnaire. But what I'm looking for is you to write as much or as little as you'd like, trying to give me your honest feedback on what you've been doing this semester that helps support your learning, what things have been occurring this semester that hinder you from learning in this course. And again, it's whatever's working for you, whatever's not working for you. It can be within the course, outside of the course, but something that's going to help me understand how to support your learning throughout the rest of the semester. What are 1 to 2 behaviors that you could start doing differently that would help you learn in this course? And overall, what has been your experience in this class so far? Then lastly, I'm asking for 1 to 2 suggestions from you that I could possibly integrate into the course to help improve your learning. And then anything about your fellow classmates that they have been doing, that they could start doing, for everyone being able to learn better this semester. And then I have a question here about my drop-in office hours, and then anything else you'd like to know. So if there's a question you want to skip, but other questions you want to answer, do that. I'm not trying to make this time consuming. I just want to get some feedback. So that's it for week 7.